Hi there, everyone. This is Julie Dean, the founder of Twin Cities Mussar, and I'm very happy to have with us today Laurel Riedel, who's going to be talking to us about her upcoming Mussar workshop entitled Acceptance of Mortality. And so, Laurel, welcome. Glad that you're here.
Thank you for having me.
It's wonderful to see you. So, tell us about this workshop series and who is it for? What kind of person did you design this for?
Sure. So really anyone who's an adult uh, can start having conversations about end of life and what that journey looks like. But typically, I'd say someone who's maybe in their 40s and all the way up through our elder years um, is most interested and ready to have these conversations. Uh, And of course, people trying to understand their Judaism and how that fits into their life.
And what do people gain? And this is actually a workshop series where people have a specific outcome. They
Mm.
gain a legal document in
Yes.
that will be helpful for their end of life choices. So can you talk a little bit more about some of the benefits and the actual both the material gains and some of the other types of gains,
Mm.
spiritual, emotional, mental, that come from participating in this series?
Yes. So very important that we all have the legal document, a Health Care Directive. And this helps people know your wishes if at some point you can't speak for yourself. And it could even be temporary. Someone who's in a car accident or has a severe illness who can't speak, someone can step in and do that. And of course, at the end of our lives, sometimes we lose that ability.
Mhm.
And so it helps you choose the person who will give that gift to speaking for you. But also, in our culture, we're so uncomfortable talking about death and end of life that I usually meet with people in a small group, like 5 to 10 people, so that over the sessions, everybody gets more and more comfortable. I can talk about this. And we can practice in the group. And some people come with a partner or a parent or a child, but others can be total strangers to each other and just learning to do that. But between sessions, learning how to talk with your loved ones. And there's that Bahira point in Mussar where it's like, what do I do now? When you say to your loved one, I really want to talk about this, and they say, oh, we don't need to talk about that. It's such a common reaction. What are you going to do at that point to get past that stuckness? And move into Hitlam Dut, curiosity about these conversations. And people really change over the workshop. And I have people come up to me and say, I took your workshop, Living Deeply, Dying Well, 3 years ago. And, my brother died last year. And it was totally different because I knew how to talk to him about it.
Mm. So it's really giving us an opportunity to practice conversations before we need them, before we're in the moment where we have to make critical decisions. And it sounds like it really raises our awareness of what the choices are that we will have when that time in our life comes.
Yes. It just takes the temperature down, and like, I know how to talk about this now. And I tell people they're going to be forever changed after taking this workshop because our culture is so uncomfortable with it.
And why are you doing it through a Mussar lens? What have you found that Mussar provides that helps enrich this whole process?
Yeah, I've I've been doing these workshops for 8 years, and I've been studying Mussar for 8 years. And so these two threads of my life are so important. And 2 years ago, I think it was you who said, "Oh, there's this presentation by Alan Moranis and his wife Beverly about acceptance of mortality as a Mussar trait." And I
And
listened.
Alan Marinas is the founder of the Mussar Institute, just for those folks who don't know.
Yes. And his wife is a palliative care physician. So she intertwined stories about people struggling with having end of life conversations and being in denial. And how once you open your heart to that, it just really changes to a much more intimate experience. And so I realized I could combine both the things that are so important to me into one.
Mhm. And so this is really being offered at a very great time for people who have been in a Mussar VOD previously, because right now our VODs are taking a break. And
Mhm.
so this gives not only the enrichment of a Mussar VOD experience, but it also helps people create their end of life care directive, healthcare
Yes,
directive.
yes,
And it will be in a small group and that we will meet in person,
yes.
right? And
We'll
so
gather together. Mhm.
it's 5 sessions starting in May, and I'm just gonna put up the slide that shows the flyer for it. Can you just walk us through this with dates, times, location, and the cost?
Sure. Um, so we'll be meeting on Tuesdays, 5 Tuesdays, from 1 o'clock to 2:30, and May 21st. So over those 5 sessions, at the first session, we'll do a lot of, getting to know each other and starting with our own personal experiences that have been good or that we wish had been a little different for our loved one, which really speaks to writing our healthcare directive. Um, and I'll hand out materials at the end of that to keep all your important documents for end of life, including your healthcare directive. But you can put your will in there, how to find your passwords, all these things that are just a gift to your family. The cost is $120 per person. If you come with a loved one, a friend, that cost gets decreased to $100 each. Um, and you'll leave with a number of articles, plus your legal document. The great thing in Minnesota is that to have a legal healthcare directive, you don't need a notary public, it's fine, but all you need are 2 witnesses. And so that group that's kind of bonded over these conversations over the 5 weeks become witnesses for each other. So that group energy, people at the end session often kind of sit there like they don't want to leave. And they say, I've shared more with you than my best friend about this topic,
Yeah.
it's just a very good, safe ending spot.
So I want to encourage, if you folks who have watched this video who are considering signing up for this, please go ahead and do so. You will find it meaningful. Your loved ones will greatly appreciate you for doing this. And I have heard only glowing recommendations about this course. I would love to take it myself. I'm out of town for some of those dates, but I look forward very much to the time when I'll be able to be in this series with you, Laurel. So thank you so much for offering it in partnership with Twin Cities Mussar. And where should people go to register?
Yes, my phone number um, and my email are on the document there at the bottom,
Mhm.
612-868-4116, or Laurel at speakingofdyingminnesota.com. Well, it's just mn.com.
Okay. And so if you caught this on the shared screen, great. Otherwise, you can also go to twincitiesmussar.org, and under events, we have this same flyer where you can get the contact information for Laurel. So people should contact you directly to go ahead and register, and you get to be in this group doing this very meaningful work with other people who know about Mussar. And also, if you are brand new to Mussar, it's fine to come and do this as well. You don't have to have a background in Mussar in order to participate.
And
Right?
yes, and that means, family members, friends can come along who haven't done Mussar, because we'll just fold you into our conversations.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Laurel, and I wish you and everyone a really meaningful experience.
Mhm. Thank you, Julie.